And for the news abroad, here's Stephanie C. live from Hong Kong. Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, William. U.S. President Donald Trump's former aide Paul Manafort tells the court he feels humiliated after being convicted for hiding millions in income. Clarence Shaughnessy explains why.
U.S. President Donald Trump's former campaign manager Paul Manafort has been sentenced to 47 months in prison for tax and bank fraud. He was convicted last summer of hiding millions of dollars of income from his political consulting in Ukraine. He is due to be sentenced in another case next week related to his illegal lobbying. The charges stem from an inquiry into whether the Trump campaign colluded with Russia to win the 2016 election. U.S. Department of Justice Special Counsel Robert Mueller is thought to be finishing up his 22-month investigation, which has dogged the Trump presidency. Manafort, who will receive credit for the time served, must also pay $24 million in restitution and a $50,000 fine. The 69-year-old addressed the court on Thursday evening in Alexandria, Virginia, saying, "The last 2 years have been the most difficult of his life." Manafort also said he feels humiliated and ashamed by his conviction. Judge T.S. Elise said he was surprised that Manafort did not express regret for engaging in wrongful conduct. Nevertheless, he said sentencing guidelines cited by prosecutors calling for between 19.5 and 24 years in prison were excessive. The formerly dapper lobbyist who entered the court wearing a green prison jumpsuit and in a wheelchair was impassive as he learned his fate. His legal team has previously said he suffers from debilitating foot pain resulting from gout as a result of his incarceration. Manafort has been held in solitary confinement for the last 9 months at a local jail since his bail was revoked for alleged witness tampering. His sentencing marks a spectacular downfall for a high-rolling Republican political guru who advised 4 U.S. presidents, including Trump and foreign leaders. Clarence Shaughnessy, UNTV News and Rescue, New York, USA.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau denied interfering in Canada's judicial system as he sought to defuse a crisis threatening his political future. Noel Poliarco will tell us why.
Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said no inappropriate pressure was placed on a minister when he raised concerns to her about a prosecution related to one of the country's biggest firms. But he said he should have been aware of an erosion of trust between the minister and his office.
I continue to say that there was no inappropriate pressure. I'm obviously reflecting on lessons learned through this, and I think Canadians expect that of us, that any time we go through periods of internal disagreement and indeed challenges to internal trust as we have, there are things that we have to reflect on and understand and do better next time.
Jody Wilson-Raybould says she was pressured in the criminal prosecution of engineering giants SNC-Lavalin. Fallout from the affairs has cost the Prime Minister 2 top ministers. Trudeau's statement on Thursday morning come amid a deepening political crisis for the Prime Minister, with numerous opinion polls suggesting that confidence in his government has taken a hit. He admitted he had made mistakes in his handling of the matter and that there are lessons to be learned from this situation. But he said there was no wrongdoing in the SNC-Lavalin case.
Canadians expect and deserve to have faith in their institutions and the people who act within them. Almost every day as Prime Minister, I learn new things. So I can tell you without a doubt that I have taken and will continue to take many lessons from these recent days and weeks.
His former Attorney General and Justice Minister Wilson-Raybould has said that she faced attempts at political interference from the Prime Minister and his inner circle over whether to make a deal that would have suspended prosecution against the firm. Noel Poliarco, UNTV News and Rescue, Toronto, Canada.
America's new commercial astronaut capsule will complete its demonstration flight with a splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean. Meanwhile, Anne Frank's stepsister speaks to teens who played Nazi-themed beer pong in California. Kath de Maraos explains why.
In USA, The stepsister of Anne Frank met privately with Thursday with a group of high school students in California who were photographed giving the Nazi salute while standing around a swastika made of red cups. Eva Schloss told reporters following the meeting in Newport Beach that the teens had apologized profusely for the incident and had learned a lesson for life.
When I heard about this incident here, I was shocked that in 2019, in a well-educated town, in a very high-educated school, that incidents like this should still happen.
She said she had shared her experience at the Auschwitz death camp with the students from the wealthy seaside community and that the teens had come to understand the outrage behind the offensive photo.
You know, they were a bit drunk, I suppose, and which they shouldn't be at that age, but it does happen. And I think they really didn't think about the consequences. But I think they have learned a lesson for life.
In space, crew members on board the International Space Station closed the hatch on the SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule on Thursday, prepping the unmanned capsule for its journey back to Earth. The 16-foot-tall capsule docked at the space station on Sunday after lifting off a day earlier from Florida's Kennedy Space Center atop a Falcon 9 rocket carrying a test dummy nicknamed Ripley. During its 5-day stay, U.S. astronaut Anne McClain and Canadian astronaut David St. Jacques ran tests and inspected Crew Dragon's cabin. SpaceX said the spacesuit for Ripley has been embedded with sensors around its head, neck, and spine to monitor how a flight would feel for a human. The capsule will undock from the space station early on Friday morning, orbiting the Earth a few times before splashing into the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Florida. And in India, 2 lawmakers from India's ruling party were set to be disciplined on Friday after a fight using a shoe as a weapon went viral on social media. The event has caused embarrassment to the Bharatiya Janata Party, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a country where shoes are considered unclean and using one as a weapon is seen as especially offensive. The BJP's president in Uttar Pradesh, Aman Pandey, said both lawmakers had been summoned to the state capital, Lucknow, and that strict disciplinary action will be taken. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Stephanie C. reporting live from Hong Kong. And those are the reasons behind the news, March 8, 2019. On behalf of Rheena, Villamor-Camara, we would like to greet Happy International Women's Day. I am William Thio. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening, happy weekend.